Have you been wanting to get started in preparing for disasters, but are frustrated trying to figure out where to even start? In this video, we will introduce you to 8 very important building blocks that you can use to create a disaster preparation plan that is fully customizable for you and your loved ones. A plan that can easily adapt to your changing needs. And we are starting right now. Welcome to Prep Busters. My name is Bob Parker.
And I'm John Waugh. If you're joining us for the first time, our passion is helping people navigate the confusing maze of topics relating to disaster preparedness and to help you sort through the mountains of misinformation and become properly prepared for any likely disaster situation.
We are both very experienced in nearly every area of disaster preparedness and have been providing live training for several years.
Another important thing to keep in mind if you are joining us for the first time, we approach training with the very strong belief that everyone, regardless of your experience level, has something positive to contribute to the conversation. So regardless of your experience level, please be very active in the discussion. We utilize the comment section below as a way for you to ask us questions as well as for you to provide answers to the questions that we ask you. And your comments are very important, and we do our best to respond to each and every comment that is left on our channel. Now, when it comes to the absolute starting point of preparing for any possible disaster scenario, the first thing to learn is the pillars of preparedness. And we're listing these items out, but not in any particular order of importance, and we'll discuss that more specifically in a few minutes.
Disasters, both natural and man-made, can occur very quickly, from the hurricanes that are occurring on our eastern seaboard, the tornadoes of the Midwest, or the earthquakes and fires right here on the West Coast. And let's not forget about that multi-car pileup on that foggy stretch of mountain road. Each of these require a set of skills the average person does not have, or at the absolute minimum, a variation of technical skills to persevere through such a calamity. We're going to be addressing the very broad set of skills and knowledge that it will take to not only survive, but to possibly help your families and others to get through such an event. The pillars apply to nearly every disaster scenario and its associated challenge. But enough foreplay. Let's get down to the meat of this presentation. Water. In addition to drinking, think about hygiene and other uses or needs of water. This includes sourcing, purification, and storage. Here in the desert, in the Las Vegas Valley, where John and myself live, water becomes of paramount importance. Food. Food for you, your family, animals, and possibly others. This also involves tools and skills for preparation and storage. This may also include heating sources, such as fire. Medical supplies and skills. This takes on extreme importance when a community-wide disaster or statewide disaster takes place. Our infrastructure, especially the medical field, is overwhelmed, and you may have to take care of yourself and your family and your neighborhood if this does occur. Trauma for both yourself, animals, sickness, the infirm that you happen to have in your house, all become of paramount importance. Communications. This may or may not include traditional sources, such as cell phone, text, internet, landline, GMRS, CB, and most importantly, ham radio. Shelter. This includes temporary and permanent shelter for you and your loved ones, as well as shelter for animals and possibly others. It may also include additional items such as fire for heat source, including tarps and more permanent structures that include wood, concrete, and earth. Security. This includes physical barriers and deterrents, alert systems, and whatever means you will employ to keep yourself and those around you safe. Containers. This includes any form or fashion that you will utilize to carry and store various equipment and supplies. This could include and covers everything from the smallest container to a warehouse. And so that wraps it all up.
Bob, I think you're leaving out one pillar.
I am. Well, if we were following what most preparedness groups prescribe, there would only be 7 pillars. But actually, one of the biggest things that sets this channel apart from all the rest is the eighth pillar.
That is very true. The eighth pillar is actually you. More specifically, it's your skills, it's your strengths, it's your weaknesses, your mindset, and even that inner spidey sense that allows you to see a potential dangerous situation before getting right in the middle of it. A good example of what we're talking about here, as far as skills, would be something like this. Say you buy a high-tech trauma kit, something with every possible medical gadget known to man. It even has a pocket CAT scan and all the cool stuff like airways, tourniquets, suture equipment, everything. And then you find yourself in the middle of a disaster. And you wind up in a situation where your 7-year-old daughter, granddaughter, niece, whoever, becomes injured and has bilateral compound fractures to both legs, has blood gushing out of a cut on the inside of her upper thigh, and she basically cut her femoral artery. And now in a situation like that, do you know what to do? Do you have the technical skills to apply all that gee-whiz medical equipment to keep this little girl alive? Do you have the composure to apply those skills on a loved one who's in a major distress, bleeding, traumatically injured, quite possibly permanently disfigured? Keep in mind that if you do nothing, she's going to die. Now, if you were to apply a tourniquet and you don't have any medical facility nearby or within a short period of time, do you have the skills to keep her alive over a longer period of time? Now, for someone who, in the community of the medically trained people, that's what they do for a living, they can easily answer yes to all those questions. But I bet we could easily change the scenarios around where their answers are going to very easily become no. So really what it comes down to is, hopefully you're going to see the point what we're talking about here, and that is that stuff may get you in the room and it's going to have that cool factor, but it won't be much good at all if you don't have the skills to properly use it. And so really for us, what it comes down to is whether it's a matter of having the stuff or the skills. We're going to pick skills every time.
But we do like cool stuff a lot.
That we do. Now, with that said, though, it is important to realize that learning a technical skill may not be enough without working on your ability to analyze a situation, to be able to call up the right skill for the right situation. And that is why what we do is to not only teach you a technical skill, but also to help you develop ways to expand on your ability to do the right thing when it is needed, regardless of what's going on around you.
If you notice that we spent more time going over the eighth pillar, that wasn't by chance. If you look at all of the pillars, you will see that there are specialized skills that you need already to possess or obtain. We can help you attain some of those skills and education for free, but you need to accept the fact that your best investment of money and time, well, probably several investments, is to enhance you. We are talking about courses and training that you identify that you might need to enhance your knowledge and skill base.
So now that you have the 8 pillars, you need to start putting these things to use, determine what the exact order of priority is going to be for you.
John, why wouldn't they be the same for everyone?
Well, it's actually a pretty good question. Actually, it all depends on where each person is and also when the disaster strikes. For example, for the where, most people in Las Vegas, in late June, water is going to be their number one priority. Now, if they're in Alaska, water is probably going to take a back seat to shelter. Okay? And think about folks in Florida and Oklahoma, where shelter brings on a whole new meaning if you're facing a pretty big storm coming down on them. So when it comes to the where, it also correlates to the when. Like if you're in the Nevada desert, as I talked about earlier, but now you're in late August, now water isn't quite as high of a priority because you're going to be looking at flash flooding and a situation where a flash flood is going to bring ample water to your feet instantly. So their shelter or something else, depending on your circumstance, is going to take a higher priority.
That's right, because August is our monsoon season here.
Right. So, and also now when it comes down to medical supplies, someone who is healthy may not place medical supplies as high of a priority or at an extensive level as someone who has a pre-existing medical condition or they're caring for someone who does have one. So the where and the when really do apply to all 8 pillars.
Now for the question of the day. What priority would you list out the pillars to fit your particular situation? Please type in your answers in the comment section below. So after this class, take some time and think about each of the pillars more in depth and write out the order of importance and how they might change if you were at home versus at work or away from home and needing to get home. After you develop that list and as you get an opportunity to watch more of our classes, take some notes as to what you need to do to improve your position in each of the 8 pillars. Keep your sanity. Keep things manageable, reachable, and realistic goals. What will it take to get your family to survive 3 hours, 30 hours, 3 days, 30 days, 3 months, 30 months, etc.?
And as we have said, we'll be producing a series of classes for each of the pillars that go very in depth. This class here has been more of a 50,000 foot view, and the subsequent classes will be diving deep into the weeds, so far underground on this stuff.
We will be so underground that you will be able to bury your bunker when we get through. I don't have one, but if you got one for sale, let me know.
Okay, if you like this show and think that you want to participate in more classes, hit that subscribe button below, along with that little bell symbol so that you'll be notified as we publish new content. We'd love to have you as part of our channel. Now, if you like the content, smash the heck out of that like button. And if you're still with us at this point, you clearly are looking forward to the benefits of this sort of training. So hit the share button and share this class with at least 2 other people who you think could benefit with this type of content. And finally, and most importantly really, in the comments section below, let us know what you personally liked about the show, what you didn't like, or you'd like to see more or less of, or if you have suggestions on how we could make things better. So until next time, this is Prep Busters, and we're looking forward to seeing you down the road.
Thank you for joining our channel.